Hello everyone, my name is Pranav Patade. I am a software professional with 13 plus years of experience in IT. I am here to demonstrate a product that I have built based on AI to help organizations comply with privacy requirements as directed by Honorable Supreme Court in their 2018 judgment regarding storage of Aadhaar data by entities that is used for KYC of the customers. Masking of first 8 digits of Aadhaar number is a mandatory requirement as per the legal notification issued by Unique Identification Authority of India based on this judgment of the same year. This solution is a web service that you can integrate in your system to mask Aadhaar number in your existing document or use it on the fly for the new documents. This solution is robust and can identify the Aadhaar number correctly from different formats of Aadhaar card and also is resilient to work through different issues like tilting, incorrect orientation, etc. We will demonstrate these scenarios in detail at the second part of this video, but before that, we will go through the mentioned judgment and guidelines to understand relevant requirements for compliance. We will also see the notifications, circulars, guidelines issued by other entities like RBI, IRDA and SEBI directing the necessary action to ensure compliance. The requirement to mask Aadhaar number is based on this notification issued by Unique Identification Authority of India on 23rd October 2018. The notification gives reference to the landmark judgment by Honorable Supreme Court in the matter of Justice K.S. PUTTASWAMY and another versus Union of India and others that was delivered in the year 2017. The case began with the question of whether the right to privacy was a fundamental right, which was raised in 2015 in the arguments concerning the legal validity of the Aadhaar database. This case is the cornerstone of the right to privacy jurisprudence in India. The 9-judge bench in this case unanimously reaffirmed the right to privacy as a fundamental right under the Constitution of India. The court held that the right to privacy was integral to freedoms guaranteed across fundamental rights and was an intrinsic aspect of dignity, autonomy and liberty. During the arguments of the case, learned Attorney General of India in his submission gave reference to the Aadhaar Regulations 2016 as published in the Gazette of India, where it is clearly mentioned that the Aadhaar numbers have to be redacted, blacked out in the print and electronic form. You can find that these regulations are mentioned in the judgment by the Honorable Bench of Supreme Court while commenting on the framework for protection and safety of data received from individuals. Based on this judgment, Unique Identification Authority of India has issued notification to all entities collecting the Aadhaar data to mask the first 8 digits of Aadhaar number in Aadhaar copies submitted by the customer. Several entities like RBI, IRDA and SEBI have issued circulars directing entities to follow the regulations while dealing with Aadhaar card for KYC or any other purpose which you will see next on the screen. I will leave the link to these notifications circulars in the description for your reference in case you wish to read more about it. Before we begin with the demonstration, let me introduce you to the environment that I have created just for demonstrating the capabilities of this system. As I mentioned, the system is basically a web service with AI capabilities that accepts a document as an input, processes it, performs certain actions to bring the document in a proper format for processing, then identifies the Aadhaar number and blacks out or marks out the first 8 digits. So in order to test or demonstrate its capability, I have created this basic website wherein I will upload the document, and once uploaded, the results will be displayed on the left part of the screen. You will see the before and after picture of the image that is being passed to the AI for processing, and while demonstrating I'll also narrate the results so as to guide you through the final output as well as the input that has been passed into the system. So let's begin with the demonstration. All Aadhaar card images used in this demonstration have been collected and are available to everyone via Google search. Blurring in the content has been intentionally added in video post-production to protect the identity of the individuals. Original images without any blurred content have been passed to the system for processing during the actual demonstration. So this is the first scenario wherein the Aadhaar card has been properly trimmed. You don't find anything else other than the Aadhaar information in this part of the image. The image has been cropped properly so as to match with the edges of the Aadhaar card, and you can see everything looks good and fine. So you can term it as an happy flow just to see how the system performs for this particular scenario. So let's choose the first file, which is basically the cropped version of the Aadhaar card, properly cropped version, and let's see how system performs for this particular case. The AI model is working in the background to identify the first 8 digits of Aadhaar and to mask them as per the requirement. And once the results are generated, it will be displayed on this left pane. You can see that the results have been generated and the first 8 digits have been masked correctly by the system, and edges are properly aligned with the red border at the bottom. This is the second scenario. You can see here as well the Aadhaar card edges are in line with the edges of the image. So the image is like the Aadhaar card is in a horizontal position. However, there is an additional data and the Aadhaar card image is not properly cropped to match with the actual dimensions of the image. And let us see how a system performs in this particular scenario. Let us start testing the second scenario with uncropped image with some additional background in the image. Let's see how system performs. I clicked on the mask Aadhaar. The AI is working in the background as usual to identify those first 8 characters, 8 digits of the Aadhaar number and mask them. Results would be generated shortly. You can see here as well the 8 digits have been identified and aligned. It has been aligned with the baseline of the Aadhaar card, which is denoted by the red line at the bottom. As I mentioned earlier as well, the system is resilient enough to work around certain issues wherein the image is not in a proper orientation or slightly tilted. So in this case, you can see that the image has been rotated by 90 degrees and it's not in a proper orientation wherein the Aadhaar number is parallel to the horizontal baseline of the image. So let's see how the system performs in this case as well. Let us see how system performs when the orientation is incorrect of the Aadhaar card. As you can see, the image is incorrectly oriented whenever in the document that the customer has submitted. So the system will identify the correct orientation, correct it to the final image, and also identify the Aadhaar number while masking the 8 digits. You'll see the results would be correctly an oriented image with mask number. Yes, and you can also see the boxes are properly aligned with the line, and so this is the result. This scenario is similar to previous scenario. However, here the tilt is not exactly 90 degree, but in fact it's between 30 degrees or 45 degrees. You can compare the red line at the base of the Aadhaar card. It's tilted at an angle from the base of the image. Also, certain portion of the Aadhaar card is cropped out, which basically in which we lose certain information of the Aadhaar card. And let's see how system performs in this particular scenario. Let's pass on the image into the system and see how the results are generated. You can see the image is tilted as showcased earlier. The Aadhaar card is there and the image is not matching with the baseline. Let's pass this on to the system and let AI take action and generate the results. You can see the boxes are been correctly identified and aligned with the baseline. Despite the image being tilted, they are basically parallel with the baseline of the Aadhaar card. This is another scenario wherein you can see there is an additional portion of that image which displays the background of the Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card is held in hand and it's in a slightly tilted mode. The different thing in this particular image from the previous image is that you can see that the edges of the Aadhaar card are slightly skewed. The left hand side of the Aadhaar card appears slightly bigger than the right hand side. So it adds skewness to the overall image of the Aadhaar card, which is not perfect rectangle. Let us see how this system works in this particular scenario. We will now pass the image into the system and let AI take action and identify the Aadhaar number correctly so as to mask the first 8 digits of the Aadhaar. This image is skeeved, but still system was able to identify the Aadhaar number and mask it correctly. This is the next scenario wherein you can see the Aadhaar card as a full form of the Aadhaar card that is usually delivered to your address in a printed format, and you can see the Aadhaar number is displayed at the upper as well as the bottom part. In this particular image, you can see the Aadhaar card is slightly tilted, as well as it is not a color version of the Aadhaar card. Instead, it is a Xerox copy of Aadhaar card. Let us see how system performs in this particular scenario. As I mentioned, Aadhaar number is mentioned at the up as well as the bottom portion of the Aadhaar card. The image has been passed to the AI for processing. The results have been generated. The Aadhaar at the top as well as the bottom portion of the Aadhaar card have been masked correctly. This scenario is similar to previous version, however this is in a color format, but in addition to the front part of the Aadhaar card, the user has also submitted the back portion of the Aadhaar card. You can see that the Aadhaar card is mentioned in the front portion at the upper as well as the bottom part, but you can see there are some additional numbers present on the back part of the Aadhaar card which match in format with the actual Aadhaar format. So let us see how system works in this particular scenario. Now let us see how system performs for this particular format of Aadhaar card, which has the back side along with the front side of the long Aadhaar card. Let us pass it on to the AI. You can see there are Aadhaar numbers mentioned at 2 places along with some numbers that are similar in format of the Aadhaar number. Let us see how system performs in this particular scenario. Both the Aadhaar numbers have been correctly identified, and rest of the numbers which are similar in format have been correctly ignored by the system. Upper as well as the bottom Aadhaar number have been masked correctly. This is another format of Aadhaar. It is basically e-Aadhaar letter, and you can see the Aadhaar number is mentioned at the top as well as the bottom portion of the Aadhaar letter, and again here the Aadhaar letter is basically a Xerox copy which is in black and white as submitted by the customer. So let us see how system performs in this particular scenario. Now let us pass this format as well. You can see the Aadhaar number is mentioned up as well as down. Let's see how system performs in this particular scenario as well. This is slightly different than the earlier format and is also in black and white. You can see the Aadhaar number has been correctly masked at the top. Despite having some other numbers that are similar in this format, in the format of the Aadhaar number, as well as the number at the bottom has also been correctly masked and blacked out by the system. This is the PVC Aadhaar card which you can apply for from the Unique Identification Authority of India's website. This will be delivered to your house. The reason to include this into the demonstration is you can see that the format is slightly different than the previous formats. Previous formats had a white background, but in this case you can see there are certain graphics included into the Aadhaar card. You can also see that the Aadhaar number is mentioned on the front as well as the back of the Aadhaar card. So we'll demonstrate how the system performs in both the scenarios, the front as well as the back. So let's move to the demonstration. Let us see how system performs in PVC card. We'll pass the front side of the PVC card first into the system. I haven't masked data on this one because this is a sample. It doesn't necessarily require it is intended to work as a sample, so I haven't masked any data. You can see the first 8 digits have been correctly masked for the front side of the PVC card. I'll pass the back side of the PVC card which contains the rest of the data and also the Aadhaar number. So no matter what the customer has submitted, the system will be able to handle that kind of a scenario and this different type of template as well. And since this is the latest template, you might expect data in this format. And again here as well, the first 8 digits have been correctly masked by the system.